Oh, well, look who we have here. My, it's been an age and a half. Uh, Hey guys, what's going on? Oh my goodness, it's been ages. I haven't seen you since last year. If any of you have seen me at all. There is so much to talk about. But let's just skip all the banter. Let's get into it. How cool was that? I spent ages doing that, trying to figure out all the little bits and pieces. If you want to see the full anime music video I just made for that, because that's just a shortened version, I'll put a link in the video below and it'll be at the end title card as well. So let's get into it with the first thing I like to call new news. It's good news. Not always. First off, not Star Wars news for a change. Okay, so there was this game announced ages ago, like 2013, 2014, right? For PS4 exclusive, and it was called Dreams. And it used motion controls and all that, and it looked really interesting, but nobody really knew what it was. But then a couple of years later, 2016 I believe, people got their hands on it at E3, and it was more of a creation tool kind of system. Make your own art assets, I guess you could say, for games, and make those games kind of like a Little Big Planet, Minecraft and all that stuff, where people just make their own experiences, I guess you could say. But recently, and even that was back in 2016, and we're still waiting. We're like, what is this game? What's happening with it? Everyone's been really quiet about it on the PlayStation front. But finally, on the PlayStation blog, we finally get some new words about it. So, getting into it. Dreams Creator Early Access launches this spring. By spring, I mean our autumn over here in Australia and New Zealand. This is from the PlayStation blog. As you may know, our small team has been so this is a quote from the Dreams creation team, marketing team, whatever you say. As you may know, our small team has been working on Dreams for a long time. Yeah, a very long time. Beta was a very important step for us. It confirmed our toolset is ready for the community, but we still have more work to be done in other areas. Every game developer wants their game to be perfect, and we are no different. We have so many ambitions for Dreams, and the beta reminded us that Dreams only truly comes to life in the hands of you all, the community. So we scratched our chins and tried to figure out the best way to put the game... Hang on. Curses. Sorry. So we scratched our chins and tried to figure out the best way to put the game in the hands of our most enthusiastic dreamers and allow us to continue crafting and polishing it for everyone. And... we have decided to go live and release Dreams in early access on PlayStation 4 this spring. Autumn. Oh my god, it's happening! So that was the thing. The preamble I just talked about, oh my god, it's been so long. It's been in development hell for a long time. People are interested to get their hands on it. There's been chatter out in the ether about people wanting to actually have a go at this and see what it's all about. Without like getting the hopes up, I guess, in case the game doesn't perform as well as I hope. Well, that's the consensus I'm getting anyway. Tell me if you've heard anything different. But this is good news. This game is finally coming out. This was one of the Sony Worldwide Production Studios exclusive deals, I guess you could say. So to have it finally coming out, even though it was announced, I believe, at the same time or before God of War and Spider-Man and all that, right? So that's good news. Good news is new news is good news. Okay. News number 2. Wait for this to load because I just cheated and... Anyway, this is from Epic Stream. Live action Avatar: The Last Airbender to begin production soon. And this was a thing where it was announced for a Netflix show, right? And it's live action, but the whole community was really wary about it from the last debacle of the M. Night Shyamalan, The Last Airbender movie, which was live action, and that was not great. I personally, I didn't mind it, especially comparing it to Dragon Ball Evolution. My god, let's never talk about that. But like it kind of fitted, okay, so Last Airbender, the M. Night Shyamalan one, kind of fit the movie, but it kind of fit the theme, but it didn't really. It was a Nickelodeon production, but in this TV live action, the original creators, Brian and Michael, are actually participating in it and collaborating, I guess you could say. So fingers crossed for that. So I'll just get into the article and let's see how it goes. It's been a while since a live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender has been announced by Netflix, but we haven't got any significant updates since then. What's good is, we at least have an idea on when production is set to begin. According to Discussing Film, production for the show is set to begin later this year. If we follow this development, we could be looking at a release of the series sometimes around late 2020 to early 2021. Everyone remembers the travesty that was the M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, but fans should be pleased to know that the original showrunners Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko are attached as developers of the series. Okay. The original show's head writer Aaron Ehasz might not be involved though, as he's working on his own show on Netflix, The Dragon Prince, which is a good kind of stand-in for people who miss the Avatar series, the Last Airbender series, because Aaron Ehasz was one of the main writers on that show, on the Last Airbender show. So the Dragon Prince kind of follows some of the humor and some of the similar story elements to The Last Airbender, but it's like a Western version, as in, like, The Last Airbender was kind of like Eastern mythology, where the Dragon Prince is more Western mythology. So that's interesting. It's like 9 episodes each season. They're on season 2. Season 2 has just come out on Netflix for the Dragon Prince, which isn't bad. This is going a bit weird. Yeah, so I recommend checking it out if you're interested. Don't hold it to the same candle as The Last Airbender though, because that show was just far too good. And then it just goes into some rigmarole opinion piece there. Alright, so that's a little cool thing I thought should we know. Okay, news number 3. J.J. Abrams officially announces Star Wars Episode 9 has wrapped filming. This is from StarWarsNewsNet.com, and I've said it previously on other episodes that StarWarsNewsNet.com is actually quite a reliable source of information for Star Wars. Whether it being the movies, the extra canon stuff like the comics or the animated shows or anything like that, behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, so if you want more Star Wars news, check them out. Okay, so J.J. Abrams has taken to his official Twitter account to announce that Star Wars Episode 9 has completed principal photography. Strapping, this is where the fun begins. Star Wars Episode 9 opens in the US in December 20, 2019. He also posted this picture with a little note on, where was it, Instagram? Twitter? Sorry. And yeah, if we could, like, you see, well, it's the end of an era kind of thing, we finally made it through this. They'll probably have to do a heap of marketing and get hammered by the Last Jedi haters. But anyway, it looks like they're in the desert again. Rey's gone back to her white clothing. So judging by the desert, there could be some ruins or something there. It looks like either it could be Tatooine, but I'm guessing they went back to Jakku. Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku? Okay, so that was part one of the news. As in part one of this story. Part two is, but wait, there's more. There's also been talk and pictures that were recently deleted from Twitter that they're typical, right? That the Disney Plus TV live action series The Mandalorian has also wrapped filming for the first season. Nothing has been truly confirmed with this, but more than one source has mentioned a wrap-up party for the production. I'll give you an example of that where... Yeah, this one. The Unsung Movie. Congratulations to our director, Damiano Fusco, who works on the... Pardon me. Who works on the upcoming show The Mandalorian. The crew has officially wrapped the first season of production and have signed the helmets there. Mandalorian Season 1 crew, you can see. So this was quickly deleted, but we all have to capture it and make our... what do you call it? I can't even think of the word now. Conspiracies and other thoughts and feelings about how this is going to go and if this is true. There's been other sources. Another person from SalesNews.net who lives near the production site apparently has said, yeah, they did have a wrap-up party. So here's hoping that we get it soon. Possibly near the end of the year, possibly before. Okay, for an example, Star Wars Rebels, the end of season 3, like the second half of season 3, started just before The Last Jedi, okay? And... was it season 3? Season 3, I think it's season 3. Started before The Last Jedi, just like a few weeks before, and then we got into The Last Jedi, and then kind of tied into the end of season 3 of Rebels. They might do something like this for the Mandalorian, where they start the Mandalorian, and either episode 9 or episode 8, they make references to either episode 9 or episode 8 or something else going on in the Star Wars universe that we might see later on in canons, in books, in another animated feature, Star Wars Resistance, for example. So that's going to be interesting. Okay, now we move on to the next segment that I just did a new animation for as well. Animation is... I use the term loosely, but it's an edit. Awesome. Oh man, that was so good. I took a thank you to my artist at Boxroller on Twitter for that. She just like does the little chibis and stuff for me. That's great. Pardon me, it's quite hot today. Over here. Alright, so, number one, little point, okay. I'm very rusty at this, I'm sorry. On the notice board is just like little bits and pieces of information that I didn't want to put into the actual news segment that I thought might be interesting to you guys, so here we go. Last week, a couple of weeks ago, it was announced that Super Mario Bros. 2, which was actually personally one of my favourite games of the Super Mario series, and Kirby's Adventure are free on the NES Games segment on the Switch Online service. So if you're a member of this online Switch service, you can get some of these free NES games right there. There's going to be new Final Fantasy 15 content, which is surprising since a lot of it got scrapped. Okay, so first off, there's a novel that's going to be coming out, like a light novel or something, I guess. I don't know. Like it'll be like this thin, I promise you. It's called Final Fantasy 15 Dawn of the Future. And episode... okay, so that would be like stories that were going to be DLC episodes in the game, but because they got scrapped, they're like, hey, let's just make this into a book, I guess. Episode Arden that I mentioned a couple of months ago, that was also, some of that story I believe is also included in the book, but the actual DLC for episode Arden is coming out March 26th. So that's gonna be really interesting. There's gonna be a lot of backstory of why Arden became who he was at the end of or in the game Final Fantasy 15. Spoilers: he gets he absorbs demons into his body, but then it corrupts his soul and becomes a bad guy. He gets rejected from the kingdom because he's actually Noctis's ancestor. And he gets pissed and swears revenge and whatnot. But it'll be interesting to see that backstory and make him a bad guy you can love to hate kind of thing, instead of just this mustache twirling kind of character. Also, the episode Arden prologue anime is out now. I'll put a link in the description below. That's about 15 minutes long, 13 to 15 minutes long. It's kind of like it's just an anime version of some of the stuff you'll see in episode Arden, but not all of it. And it's done in the same animation studio that did Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood, which was only about 5 or 6 short episodes of the different characters in the party of Final Fantasy 15. So check that out if you want. Alright, number 3 I guess you can say for this, another little note. BioWare's Anthem releases today. I just wrote a little note saying Super for Tarsus. Yeah, I did actually have it. I got it today and I'm excited to play. I'm just downloading the day 1 patch update right now. So if you want to play, I'm on PS4, Jedi Wannabe 04 or Jedi Wannabe 04 if you're not sure what that is. All one word, no spaces or anything like that. So come hang out with me. I'll be playing with a couple of friends. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Oh, okay. The next little piece, the art of Star Wars Rebels has been announced and will hit shelves on October 15 and is available for pre-order right now. I just want to... Okay. As recommendation, I got this one and The Force Awakens, and it gives you plenty of information about the art styles and what they were thinking, like what the artists were thinking, what the directors and anyone in the production, the costume designers were thinking about how they make the movie and whatnot. So with the art of Star Wars Rebels, I reckon this would be really interesting to get. This is going to be a lot more, you get a lot more in depth because it's a Disney animation ride. There is some restrictions to the audience about anything that goes on in the character's head, I guess, or what the director was wanting to portray to the audience with the characters, or how the overall story worked, or the specific episode of World Between Worlds where it was like a force nexus that Ezra was walking through and he actually managed to manipulate time, or just proceed along his destiny, or whatever you want to think about, talk about, whatever. So getting into the, like, if you're a real Star Wars fan and really get into that, love to get into the nitty gritty stuff, get the art of Star Wars Rebels. Rumors abound! More Star Wars rumors. Of course, there's going to be the Rian Johnson rumors going, oh man, he's cancelled these Star Wars movies. He's not writing them anymore, but he is. He's kind of getting sick of it, honestly, going, please, people, just calm down. But this one that seems actually quite possible. This also comes from StarWarsNews.net, StarWarsNewsNet.com, sorry. Obi-Wan Kenobi series to made for Disney Plus streaming service. Now, there was a lot of talk of Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, like a Star Wars story movie, to be produced, but that possibly fell through after the poor results, financial results of Solo. So maybe they're turning into a TV series instead. And we've all heard that Ewan McGregor is up for coming back as Obi-Wan now that he's coming to the almost similar age aspect. So I'll just read some of this article and I think it's really interesting. Perhaps the most talked about and rumour-filled wishlist item among Star Wars fans and media has been an Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone project. Well, it sounds like that wish may have finally come true, but not how we envisioned it. We were told that an Obi-Wan Kenobi limited TV series is happening, is the next top priority for the Disney Plus streaming service, and that it could be as many as 6 episodes, which actually, if you think about it, might be a really good length. The Kenobi project was initially supposed to be a film, as had been reported several times over the last few years. But everything changed after the disappointing box office performance of Solo: Star Wars Story. We were told that the Kenobi film was actually supposed to start production shortly after shortly after Solo premiered. There's the bug. After Solo premiered, and then everything changed. This certainly puts much more clarity on that famous Bob Iger rethinking our approach statement from last year. So yeah, there's been talks, there's been whispers that things were just about ready to go. They were ready to sign off and go, let's get production started. Or principal photography, I guess. But after Solo didn't do as well in the box office as they liked, and they should have put it in December instead of in May, I want to say. May. Then they might have done better, but and it was packed in. Solo was packed in such. It was in the summer blockbuster section where we had. What did we have? The Avengers. I think we had Deadpool, Ant-Man 2, and stuff like that. It was just too much, too much Hollywood comic book movie kind of styles. And putting Solo kind of near the end of that, everyone's just like, we're exhausted. Well, this was personally for me anyway. I was exhausted after watching those films. I watched Solo, I'm like, okay, cool. It was fun and all that, but I just wasn't getting the feeling of this is a Star Wars movie that I was excited to see because I'm drained from all this other action and stuff, especially Avengers Infinity War. So I just couldn't get into the mindset, I guess, and that's probably my problem, but it's also possibly Hollywood for putting it all into that block. They could have pushed it to December, build it up a bit more hype, get the merchandise out a bit more before the movie, so get a bit more interest in some of these characters. But I digress. And apparently I'm regressing into a teenager. Alright, here's another rumour. Scalebound could be returning as a Switch exclusive. What? This was out of the blue when I saw this. I was like, what is this coming from? The dragon-themed RPG that was in development as an Xbox One exclusive by Platinum Games might be making a comeback according to a new report, specifically as a Nintendo Switch title. The latest gossip comes via Nintendo Insider, which claims that Scalebound is coming back. There's a quote, I have confidence in my sources to report, from Nintendo Insider, I believe. I have confidence in my sources to report that it is my understanding that Scalebound has been resurrected as a project to be released as a Nintendo Switch exclusive, reads the report. Interestingly, earlier this month, Game Informer hinted on kind of funny games. So I read that weird. Interestingly, earlier this month, Game Informer hinted on kind of funny games Check them out too, they're great. About a game that's thought to be dead that Nintendo's reviving. Ooh. Apparently Scalebound is said title. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Nintendo has dived in to save a Platinum Games title from extinction. Bayonetta 2, originally in development under Sega, was left half finished with no one to fund it until Nintendo came along and agreed to publish it and release it on the Wii U. Oh wow, so much news to talk about. Crazy stuff happening, rumours left and right. I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to hear and read about all this stuff happening. There was some breaking news I wanted to go into, but honestly I'm exhausted from just talking about this much, and this is from like 2 weeks of news. So let's just wrap it up with games out this week. So let's get into it. Death and Request, which is weird. That's on PS4. Jump Force is out on PS4, Xbox One and PC. Hacky Zack, yeah, with a Z. PS4, but it's just coming out on PS4 this week, but it was already out on Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Blaze Rush on Nintendo Switch, almost there. The platformer, I reckon that looks interesting. That's on Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. Daggerhood, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Vita. Vita lives! Pizza Parking, Nintendo Switch. Yakuza Kiwami, so I think that's Yakuza 2. PC, I Wanna Fly on Switch. Origami Shadow Edition on the Switch. Warplanes, WW2 Dogfight on the Switch. Everyone loves a bit of dogfighting. Galactic Civilizations 3 Retribution on PC. Obviously Anthem on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. Also on Origin and EA Access. And finally Tia, Chains of Valhalla on Nintendo Switch. Whew. Alright guys, that's it for me today. Hopefully next week will be shorter with the news. Hope you're having a good time. Tell me what games you're playing. Tell me if you found out any new news. Leave comments down below. Like this video. Smash the subscription button. Hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out, because I don't even know. I'm very random that way. I'm very unorganized. I like to delay things, so please hit the notification bell so you'll find out things. Remember to follow me on any of my channels. I'm going to be starting some Anthem Twitch streaming possibly next week, if my internet allows. And that's it for me today. Thank you guys. End of line.